You guys want some information on best ball? Let's go over some tight ends that you should be targeting in your draft. Let's get it. Alright, to start out this video, we're not going to be going over the guys that you know that you want in the first round, like your Travis Kelce or your Mark Andrews. We're not doing that, okay? Let's going to go over some guys that you can get anywhere between the early and mid rounds, and then maybe even give you some guys some later, somebody you can get towards the end of the draft, okay? So the first guy that you guys, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm very high on, and that's Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz came over from the Eagles over to the Cardinals, and ever since he was on the Cardinals, it seemed like him and Kyler Murray had some type of connection because he was actually involved into the offense. I mean, he was getting anywhere between 5 to 7 targets a game, which is huge for a fantasy tight end. I mean, it's somebody that you can get not even into the top 5 rounds. I mean, no one even wants him because every time you think about Zach Ertz, it kind of makes you want to regurgitate a little bit just based off of what you knew with the Eagles, especially the last season he had with the Eagles. I even had him on my fantasy team. It was very, very frustrating, let's just tell you that. But coming over to the Cardinals, you have DeAndre Hopkins, who's suspended for the first 6 games of the season. We have Marquise Brown coming over from the Ravens. So he's going to be a big key part of this offense. I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's going to get consistent targets, consistent catches, and in best ball, it's super important to be able to put up the most consistent points you possibly can with possibility of having some boom weeks. I think Zach Ertz is going to be the way to go. I've said it in a lot of my ranking videos already. I believe Zach Ertz will be a top 5 tight end, but he's not being drafted as a top 5 tight end. He's being more drafted as like a top 10, top 12 tight end. And I think that's just incorrect. I'm not worried about the rankings that we see out there. I'm going based off of my rankings, and I think Zach Ertz is somebody that you need to try to get. Kyler Murray is going to look for somebody as a safety blanket, right? He doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins, who he knows if he gets in trouble, let me throw it up to D-Hop and he can just catch the ball. Zach Ertz is somebody, he started building that rapport and building that chemistry last year. They're heading on into this season. It's going to be solid. Draft Zach Ertz with confidence, and I know you're going to be happy with that. Another guy that I'm going to go on with is Mike Gesicki. Now, Mike Gesicki, I think, is going to be in a really, really good situation. He signed his franchise tender to play this year. They added Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle both on the outside. I think a lot of attention is going to be going to these fast, speedy wide receivers, and it's going to leave Mike Gesicki over into the middle open quite a bit. He's going to be one-on-one with the middle linebacker. It's going to go for good opportunities, I believe, for Tua to find him. Tua is still a young quarterback. I don't think he has the moxie to be chunking it down the field all the time. He's going to need a safety blanket, and I believe that safety blanket will be Mike Gesicki. You're going to have Waddle and Tyreek Hill going on route running all the way down the field. Gesicki's going to go right underneath everybody else, catch the ball 5-10 yards, chunking it down the field. He's going to build up quite a few for you. He's going to get you the touchdowns. Mike Gesicki, since he's entered the league, has gotten better every single year. Look at the stats. Every year he's improving and he's improving. And this year, I think he's going to improve yet again. He's going to be a top tight end for your team and somebody you can get towards the end of your draft. No one's really looking at Mike Gesicki, but that's somebody that you might want to say, hey, look, I can punt tight end early, let everybody else draft Travis Kelce, let everybody else draft Mark Andrews, let me stack up on my running backs and my wide receivers, let's draft our quarterbacks a little bit later, and let's just go ahead and get these tight ends here. You got your Zach Ertz, you got your Mike Gesicki, you can get these guys 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th round and stack everybody else up. Best ball is all about putting your best foot forward and putting yourself in the best position to win, and I believe drafting tight ends such as this is going to help you out quite a bit. Now, the next tight end I'm going to go over with is another tight end that not a lot of people are super high on, but he was productive last season. That's Pat Freiermuth. Pat had Ben Roethlisberger last year, but let's just say he had a little bit of a noodle arm. He was coming to the end of his career. I mean, it is what it is, but Pat Freiermuth was still able to be a consistent fantasy tight end for the most part for your team. He had a couple weeks that it just wasn't very good, but he was consistent for you. Now, they have Mitchell Trubisky coming over here. They got Kenny Pickett that they had drafted. I'm not sure who's going to be the quarterback, but I think it's a win-win situation if you really think about it. Mitch Trubisky's going to start out as the starter. He doesn't want to lose his starting job, so what is he going to do? Yeah, he's got to throw over to Deontay Johnson. He's got Chase Claypool. He's got all these people to throw to. But I tell people all the time, I draft tight ends based on safety blankets and who I believe is going to be the safety blanket. If it's Mr. Trubisky, he knows Freiermuth is there underneath, dink and dunk all day long. If it's a rookie, rookies, they love their tight end, right? That's like their best friend a lot of the times. So if Kenny Pickett ends up starting, whether it's the beginning of the season or the midseason, I think Pat Freiermuth is going to be somebody who's going to get consistent targets. I mean, I'm talking anywhere between 6, 7, 8 targets a game. I think Pat Freiermuth has that opportunity to do that. They have a really good defense behind him, and I believe he's just in that situation to be a solid fantasy producer for you. So now let's go ahead and switch over to somebody you can get that's maybe even undrafted towards the last couple rounds. The first guy I'm going to talk about is Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst was the tight end for Baltimore, and then he was with the Falcons. Now he's going over to Cincinnati, and if you guys don't remember, Cincinnati didn't really have a tight end last year. They had TJ Uzama, I think is how you say his name. He's now gone, right? So Hayden Hurst is the tight end for this team. They're already loaded on offense, right? They've got Jamar Chase, they got T. Higgins, they got Tyler Boyd, they got Joe Mixon. They've got an offensive line, which I believe, if you guys look at one of my videos I posted earlier about offensive lines, the Bengals have one of the best offensive line upgrades this season. They went from a porous offensive line to a great offensive line. So you put all of that together, and then you add Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is somebody, he's like the forgotten man, right? Everybody wants to draft the sparkly guys like, Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Let me get Joe Mixon. But think about it. Joe Burrow likes to throw it to the tight end as well. So if you add a Hayden Hurst in here, somebody you can get the very end on a high-power offense, win-win situation. You're talking about best ball. I mean, there may be weeks that he's blanketed and he ain't going to get anything because Jamar Chase had a blow-up week. That's cool, right? This is not somebody you're going to draft as your first tight end. It's somebody you may draft as your second tight end and possibly even your third tight end just down, and he might have some good boom weeks for you to help you produce those points, right? So the next guy we're going to talk about is somebody that I actually had just released a video on, and that's Cameron Brate, right? With Rob Gronkowski announcing retirement, Cameron Brate, right? The only other guy there is they had a rookie, Cade Otton. I think it's Cade Otton. He's the only other guy there. Cameron Brate is a known commodity around there. He's a good fantasy producer. He actually did decent last year, even though Gronk was the main catalyst. But Gronk finished as tight end number 7 last year, right? There's nothing saying that Cameron Brate can't do the same thing. He has good hands, and he can catch the ball. And guess what? I don't know if you noticed or not, but newsflash, he's got Tom Brady throwing on the ball. Tom Brady does have an arm. I don't care if he's 47, 58 years old. It doesn't matter to me. He still has an arm. He can still throw the ball. You got Chris Godwin going to miss some time early on. You got Mike Evans. You got Russell Gage. And you got Cameron Brate, right? Cameron Brate is going to be somebody that you can... I expect him to shoot up the ADP draft boards. There's no way that he's going to stay where he's at right now. He is actually being undrafted. He's in the over 200s players right now. So it's just one of those things that he's not going to stay where he's at. The ADP will rise. If you guys are doing early best ball drafts right now, jump on Cameron Brate, draft him. He's going to do you worlds of wonders, okay? So the last guy we're going to talk about is somebody I'm actually pretty high on, but a lot of people may have forgotten that's why he's slipping in the ADP, because he's hurt all the time. That's Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas, when he was healthy, even with he had Taylor Heineke, I think it's Heine. We'll go Heine. But no, it's Heineke, and it's one of those things that he was very productive with quarterback Taylor Heineke. Now you give somebody like Carson Wentz coming in here, and if you can stay healthy, Logan Thomas is a force to be reckoned with. They even played him on the outside wide receiver, I mean, all they have is Terry McLaurin there right now. I know they got the rookie Jahan Dotson there right now, but with Logan Thomas healthy, they can really, really use him. They can really lean on him to produce. He's a good pass catcher. He loves catching the touchdowns. I had him on my roster a couple years ago when he was actually solid for me. I picked him up at the end of the year, and he helped me lead me all to the playoffs into a playoff championship. It's something that you need to think about. Logan Thomas, yeah, he does play for the Washington Commanders, but that's nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, they're going to suck, right? They're going to throw the ball. And Logan Thomas, if stayed healthy, there's nothing to say he can't be a top 10 tight end. Now, this is somebody you can get at the very end of your draft. No one's really touching him right now. ADP is very low. Don't feel shy. Go and grab him if you need him. He may do you some wonders. Now, as always, I appreciate you watching the video. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, hit that subscribe button. It would really help me out. Stay tuned because we are putting out all types of content to help you prepare yourself, not only for your league at the end, but the draft as well. We're going to help you dominate your leagues. Now, I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.